How's it going, Minties? The Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition. And today, I'm going to take an advanced look at the Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev Omnibus from Marvel Comics. So, please stay tuned. Okay, now let's take a look at the book. Now, before I get looking inside, I'd like to give a shout out to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of the book. The book will be available on January 8th, 2020. And you can purchase it from places like... This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Now, this is a reprint. The book originally came out about over a decade ago. It had 2 volumes. Let's look at the inside here. And here's what it looks like without the dust jacket. You have an image by Alex Maleev. The French flap in the dust jacket contain information about where Daredevil is during this time, and of course, information on the creators. And I did not give enough credit to Matt Hollingsworth, who is the colorist on the book. Okay, so let's crack this open. By the way, this is not only a reprint of Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis, but it's also been previously released in trade paperbacks and these oversized hardcovers. There were a total of 6 of these, including the first one, which had Joe Quesada's run and Kevin Smith's run. Now here are the folks that put this together: Jennifer Grunwald, Caitlin O'Connell, Kateri Woody, and Mark Beasley, and Jeff Youngquist. Hope I'm saying those names right. Probably not. But here is the credits right here. Brian Michael Bendis is the sole writer on this. Alex Maleev is doing the main artwork with the colors by Matt Hollingsworth. There are some issues done by David Mack and Mark Morales, and then, of course, Richard Eisenoff on some of the colors. And here's an introduction, again, reprinted from the original Omnibus. This is the Klaus Janson one. As a matter of fact, this is identical to the Omnibus that was originally printed. I know a lot of people were expecting with a reprint maybe they would include Daredevil Ninja, and along with number 2, volume 2, when they reprint that, they would include End of Days. But nope, this is strictly a reprint. It retails for $100, the exact same price that the original reprint, or I'm sorry, the original printing was. So let's look a little bit in here and talk just about the story behind Brian Michael Bendis really quick. So he started off at Caliber Comics. As a matter of fact, he was mates with David Mack, and that's where he met Michael Avon-Oeming and also Mark Andreyko. And it's funny because, well, not funny, but I remember Caliber Comics. That's where a friend of mine worked. He was doing Morgana X. Very, very, very independent comic. It was a very small publishing company, but that's where he first got his start. And through there, he started doing some crime noir stuff. He started doing Jinx. And eventually he went over to Image. And by the time he got over to Image, a lot of his stuff was being published, like Torso, a lot of crime noir stuff. So much so that Todd McFarlane took an interest in him, and he offered him a writing job doing Sam and Twitch. And he did a couple of 20 issues or so of that series. And then Joe Quesada wanted him to come over to Marvel Comics. And him and Belgium Moss offered him the writing duties on Ultimate Spider-Man. This is around 2000. So Bendis was like, yeah, of course. I mean, this is a guy that was doing independent comics for Caliber Press. And he went over to Marvel. Now he's launching this huge line. Of course, they were taking a gamble on this guy. And it paid off. I know I've gone on the show and I've expressed my feelings on how I feel about his Guardians of the Galaxy or X-Men. And despite of how I feel, the guy is a class act. Like, he treats all his fans amazing. I've met him a few times at conventions, and he takes his time with each of his fans. not only that, but the guy was selling comics. I mean, a lot of people started reading comic books because of his stuff. Whether it was his stuff in Ultimate Spider-Man, or whether it was his stuff in the Max line with Alias, or whether it was his Marvel Knights Daredevil. And that's what this is. So, sorry, I've gone way too long about who Brian Michael Bendis is, and maybe not about the story. So, well, it's not a review of the story, but this takes place immediately after the events of Joe Quesada's run with Kevin Smith, the Guardian Devil storylines. And all of that has been collected in an omnibus, by the way, and also collected in a volume 1 of the oversized hardcover, and collected in trade paperbacks. So, what does this particular volume contain? Well, it contains Daredevil. Now, keep in mind, this is Volume 2 of Daredevil after it was relaunched as a Marvel Knights title. It contains issues 16 through 19, 26 through 50, and 56 through 60. Now, why is it missing some chunks? Well, because issues 20 through 25, those were all written by Bob Gale. And Bob Gale, I don't know if some of you all know, before he was starting to write comic books, because he did a run on Brand New Day on Amazing Spider-Man, he was the writer of Back to the Future, one of the greatest movie trilogies ever. And then, who else? The Echo storyline. Echo was from issues 51 through 55. Now, the Bob Gale story, I don't think has been collected anywhere, but the Echo storyline has been collected in a standard size hardcover and in trade paperbacks formats. But since that wasn't Bendis, they did not put them in the book. So if you're looking for something that's chronological, that contains every issues, this isn't it. This is more of a Bendis-centric book. But those issues really don't impact the story at all. This is mainly him relaunching Daredevil in his own vision. And honestly, it worked. The way he was able to write Matt Murdock with real-life problems, introducing a newish cast of characters, and also having some returning characters from Daredevil's past helps. And then he is joined by this wonderful artist, Alex Maleev, who he also met him during Caliber and then over at Image. So if you're just looking at this realistic style, that's what Alex Maleev brought to the table. You have the return of the Owl. He's got this awesome Wolverine hairdo. But that's pretty much what this is. It's really streetwise heroes done the way that Bendis wanted to retell the story of Daredevil. It's not a retcon of any sort or retelling of his origin. There's some elements. Okay, I'm sorry. There are some things that are in here that are retconned. But I think for the most part, he built his own world, and it really pays off. Because, I mean, though you got Typhoid Mary, even though his characterization of her was a little weird, but yeah, whatever. Like I said, despite of how I feel, the dude sold books and got a lot of people interested in comics again. There is Bullseye. Man, he was such a big impact on Daredevil that eventually, I think he was even his name rather, was in the 2003 Daredevil movie that most people don't talk about. The Ben Affleck movie. I don't think even Ben Affleck talks about it. But anyway, I forgot about Blade showing up. But this is what the book is. And if you've never read it, you need to do yourself a favor and read his run. Here's some stuff by David Mack. There's a couple pages by Joe Quesada towards the front. Like I said, he ended up leaving the book, and he wanted Brian Michael Bendis to take over the book. Now, let's look at the extras in the back. Here's the script to issue 16. And then we have some character sketches back here. So here's Alex Maleev's sketchbook. You know, I was always told that he draws digitally. So I didn't even know that I guess people still need to do sketches on paper. So it's kind of hard to own some of his original artwork. Anyway, that's what I was told. I'm not sure if that's true, because I've never really met him. I've seen him at a convention one time, but I never got a chance to talk to him. But I really enjoy his realistic artworks. I like, and even when he uses real pictures in the backgrounds, it makes it work so smooth. And perhaps that's probably a lot to do with Hollingworth's colors. Oh, man, these are beautiful painted pictures here by him. The afterword, that's from the original hardcover. This one here, that afterword appeared here. Here's some unused covers and then layouts. by Alex Maleev. 848 pages is what we're looking at. The exact same page count. Oh, this is really cool. Like each panel's drawn by different Daredevil artists. I always thought that was really cool. So you've got Gene Colan, Lee Weeks, Klaus Janson, John Romita, Michael Avon-Oeming, Joe Quesada, David Mack, and then some stuff from deleted scenes that were not in the book. Now, there's going to be a second volume of this, and that comes out in February of 2020. Let's look at the binding. You probably saw that it was sewn binding, and there's that eye. It is perfect. It lays over the way you want it to, so you can enjoy your reading. And that was everything included in this omnibus. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you own the original omnibus, or if you missed out on it and this is your first time buying it and you've got it pre-ordered, you've got the second volume pre-ordered, if Bendis's Daredevil is one of your favorite Daredevil runs, or if he's just one of your favorite writers, or how you felt about the run as a whole. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, hit the notifications button so you know when our videos are going live. We can also be found on Redbubble, and we also have a Patreon if you can join us that way. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar, and most importantly, remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.